All right, shalom, shalom, y'all. Shalom. Got a good show for you today. We are talking about dwelling together in unity, and that is going to be because, as you know, we've concluded our series on um, biblical self development. Basically, becoming aware of what's operating inside you, how to apply what the word says, and uh, truly bring spiritual change and growth. Well, now we're moving to the logical next step, and that is brotherhood, dwelling together in unity. It's it's the logical next step as we move forward in growing and developing and gathering together as a nation, not desire. Um, and I think it's timely to bring this out. Is just talking about the topic of dwelling together in unity and the challenges to it. It doesn't it The reason why it can be difficult is because at times there can be challenges, and to be able to dwell together in unity, it takes uh, the first step is like what the word says. It says, "Love your brothers, you love yourself." So and it talks about loving the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and soul. So you have to get biblical understanding. You have to learn to love yourself. So you have to get in touch with, hey, what's going on in me? Am I in alignment with this word? Once you're able to do that, then you can move forward and progress to loving your brother as you love yourself and beginning to dwell together in unity. Um, what are some of the challenges, or what is the mindset you need to have when it comes to learning to dwell together in unity and really learning to walk in that when it comes down to learning to gather together as a nation, as the word says, not desire. That is not desire. So what I have here is the power trio. We'll call it that, um, and that is patience, grit, and resilience. If you want to cultivate any long-lasting relationship, any beneficial, fruitful relationship, whether it be marriage, friendship, brotherhood, you name it, it's going to take patience, grit, and resilience. Okay. Um, we're going to briefly go through these, and what we're going to be doing is kind of just hitting on a lot of different uh, aspects and areas that come into play when we start talking about unity, having unity, uh, and unity being united in mindset. And one of the big one of the main areas where that causes there to be conflict and issues and stuff like that is just people refusing to look at themselves. People really, on a deep level, refusing to do the work, the introspection, like what we talked about in my first series, biblical self development. And what happens, people will come into some type of functional team or whatever, um, and they will have a misconception of who they really are, and they'll be unaware of their issues that they might have. And um, when you become a part of uh, a team, of a common unity, of a community, of a brotherhood, you are in denial about your true condition because you're unaware of what's operating in you. And inevitably, anybody coming on a team or coming into a brotherhood, coming into a community, uh, it's called iron sharpening iron. Even me with our home community we have here, I came into this. I had some type of idea of who I was, you know, until I got into this. And then you see the areas you have to grow, whether me being ahead of this thing, there is, particularly as a head, there's plenty to learn and grow from. Now, and it comes in progressions because as you grow in your biblical self development, literally you graduate on levels. I mean, when one of the things I was saying, I tell some of the brothers here is, man, when you really truly seeking after Yah, and not in appearance, but I'm talking about sincerely getting after it, really trying to figure out where the sin is operating in you at, in the hidden areas and all that. When you're really getting after it like that, it's gonna be blatantly obvious. I mean, it can't be hidden, you know? And when you're not getting after it and you're not truly seeking the Most High, there ain't no hiding it. You know what I'm saying? There's no talking your way out of what's being seen because your actions speak so loud you can't even hear what they're saying. Um, and that's I saw this thing yesterday. Somebody was saying, and it was on point. It's saying, you know, the mouth is the only thing that can lie. Actions can't. You know what I'm saying? But the mouth can lie, but actions can't. Which your so you got to again have that patience, grit, resilience, that calm patience to watch and see who people are. A lot of people say, "Hey, brother, this, brother, that," you know, and I get it. Hey, brother, hey, but only their actions are gonna tell whether they're a brother. You know what I'm saying? Um, and like I said, the building block to a nation is brothers and sisters. That is the building block. You know. Um, so let's see. All right. So let's define some of these words real quick. Patience. These qualities are calm amidst chaos. Uh, Perspective building. So just sitting there, you know, thinking things out. Emotional regulation. That's a big one. I see it all the time. I mean, everybody's righteous, everybody's spirit filled until them emotions come in. Then we see who's who and what's what. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I mean, yeah, them emotions, they can be something serious. And they can be what tears down a community, a brotherhood, or whatever, or they could be what builds it up. Um, Having grit. So that's learning from setbacks, having that determination that you ain't gonna quit, being goal oriented. Um, it's what keeps you going in the face of obstacles, you know. And you see a lot of people when the going gets tough, they get to quitting, they get to running, they get to tearing stuff up. And look, let me tell you, the easiest thing to do in the world is to tear shit up. Is to just mess everything up. That's the easiest thing to do in the world. Like if you told me to bust a hole in this wall, literally all I gotta do is like look, and hey, I could just grab this, smash that wall. I could literally grab anything around me. I got a tripod right here. I could take this, boom, and knock a hole in the wall. No problem. It's easy. It is so simple to tear stuff up, to be destructive. Like it's the easiest thing in the world. It's like anybody can do it. Who can't do that? But guess what? If you told me to repair that wall, well, hey, you know what I'm gonna have to do? I might have to watch some YouTube videos. I'm gonna have to make a list of what I'm gonna need. I'm gonna have to probably study them YouTube videos a little more. I'm gonna have to be real slow and careful the way I go about it. It's gonna take patience, grit, and resilience for me to repair that damage, that wall. And a lot of people don't get that. And it's the same thing when you're cultivating and trying to build a brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Hold on one sec. Okay. So yeah, it requires the same thing when you're trying to cultivate and build a brotherhood, when you're trying to build relationships. You know what I'm saying? Instead of a lot of people build situationships where it's just a bunch of drama, it's a mess because they're not applying some of these principles that we're going to be going over in this whole new series we're going in on, which is dwelling together in unity, teamwork. You know what I'm saying? Team building, the mindset you need to have. Let's see. Let's talk about resilience a little bit. That's the ability to bounce back, growth-oriented mindset, adaptability. You know what I'm saying? Again, a lot of people, they have no adaptability. One thing happens, they're through. Boom, that's it. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, there has to be a little more to that. I say this a lot. I say this a lot. I'll say it again. The the hardest thing I see our people wrestle with, and I've been doing this Hebrew Israelite thing for a while, even prior to Straightway. I saw a lot of uh, assemblies and groups split up and break up and everything like that. Why? Because our people just have a hard time resolving conflict. They get very emotional and they can't even communicate in a effective way, I would say. Efficient or effective way. They can't do it. It's this mindset comes in, it's the curses operating. We all know it's the curses operating to a T. They get this mindset that comes in and it's a wrap. Them curses come straight to the surface. And nothing, you can't come together in unity. When the word clearly tells you, talks about working through things, going to your brother, this, that, and the other. And like I said, you see it in, I saw it even prior to being in the so-called Hebrew Israelite thing. I saw it in the, just, you know, in black families, friendships, relationships, you name it. You know, it's just, it's sad. And in the meantime, you watch these other nations, you watch these other organizations, you watch everybody else. Because I went in the military, like I came out of dysfunction and went in the military, and my eyes were open to a whole nother way of operating and functioning. Because when I got in the Air Force, I saw high functioning relationships. You know, whether it's the structure of the Air Force and the chain of command and how things were dealt with and the order and people being obedient to what's the orders being handed down, and then being involved in it. And then when there was conflict in the Middle East, actually, now it's like a heightened level of stress going on. Now I'm actually experiencing how everything that I learned works in crisis type situations, you know. Um, and then, remembering what I came out of and just seeing the dysfunction, like my eyes were open. And I see we as a nation, as Israel, we are a dysfunctional people. And unless you detest that, you're not going to overcome some of those curses. And it's just going to, it's going to be a lot of stuff going on. All right. So let me see what else I have here. I had something else good here. So one of the things, we talk about brotherhood, and there's a verse, I think it's in Sirach, Ecclesiastes. It tells you to prove a friend. And time always tells, like, you'll have new friends, new brothers who come around, but time is a teller. And there's a verse in Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, and if any of y'all have this verse and y'all could post that verse in the comments, please do it for me. But there's a verse that talks about a friend that you've had for a long time. I think it says don't trade them for the gold of Ophir, something to that extent. But what that verse is saying is time and consistency are the things that matter when it comes to brotherhood and knowing who you can count on and who you can't. And that's what we're going to get into, because we talked about a brother being the building block of of community, of a nation, or whatever. Well, here are signs that this is a good brother. Okay, here we're gonna read through some signs of brothers or people you could count on. And the first one, the number one thing, is they consistently follow through on their commitments. They show that they are reliable and trustworthy. And listen to that word. That word there says it all. They are worthy to be trusted. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, this is basic. But these are things because we encounter, and this is just the reality, y'all. It's a numbers game or whatever you want to call it. Most people ain't brother quality. or you understand what I mean? Like, most people aren't going to be, and the Bible talks about that. And if any of y'all can help me out, if y'all could find that verse where it talks about, have one friend out of so many, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? If y'all can put that verse in the comments also. The verse and, the text also. Don't just post the verse number in there. Post the text, because I'm going to read the whole thing. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? That consistently they follow through with their commitments. Because a lot of people think, oh, a good friend or a brother, somebody who you just get along when they tell you whatever you want to hear all the time. Bull crap. Because look at the second one. They are honest and upfront in their communication. They're not going to tell you what you want to hear. They're going to tell you what you need to hear. So now We got three things already that we've established is time. You got plenty of time, and the longer you've been around them, the better. And then consistently, they're consistent. They're men of their word or women of their word. You know what I'm saying? Because this goes for sisters too. So you can count on them. And they've been around for a while. And then they're honest. They're upfront with their communication. They're going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And not saying that they're always going against you. You see what I'm saying? But in times where they need to step in and tell you, they're gonna lay it down to you. You know what I'm saying? These are good brothers and good sisters. These are people that fit. These are the signs that you can count on someone that they're gonna put out there. Okay? So even if they don't have the time in with you, if you're like, well, I need a good brother I could count on, blah blah blah. You can look at these to evaluate, and it's gonna mess with your head because you're gonna look at the people around you and realize it ain't none of them. Maybe it might be one. You know what I'm saying? But it's a blessing when the Most High puts these types of people in and around you. You know what I'm saying? And then I got to point, and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to point out what you're not going to hear here is what you're not going to hear is, oh, they're fun to be around or anything like that. So here's the last one. They are supportive and have your back when you need them. They are there for you through thick and thin. Okay? So, and this kind of ties back into the time thing. But look at what the number one thing was they consistently follow through on their commitments. Y'all gotta, each one of those is very important because you have people that are supportive and have your back through thick and thin. They rocking with you, but they're not honest. They don't follow through with their commitments. You see what I'm saying? You might have somebody that got two of them that consistently follow through with their commitments and they're supportive, but they're not honest with their communication. You know, so you can mix and match those. You know what I'm saying? But, okay. So this is establishing the building blocks of being a brother. This goes the other way. Look at yourself. Do you exemplify these qualities? Okay? All right. Here are the signs that you can't count on someone. And that is they frequently miss deadlines or fail to complete tasks. This indicates a lack of reliability and follow through. You can't count on them. They're not men of their word. It's frequent. Now, I mean, nobody, it says that listen to the word. Frequently. There's times everybody misses deadlines and fails to complete a task and all that. But when the pressure's on, can you count on it? Or are they just a forgetful, just a person who just, you know what I'm saying? They are dishonest and misleading in their communication. You can't trust what they say, making it difficult to depend on them. And then the last one, they're unreliable and flake out on commitments at the last minute. This shows a disregard for your time and needs. So you just can't count on them. And like I said, they'll have this reason, that reason, this reason. But what they don't say is what the true reason is. It wasn't important to me. That's the reason. You see what I'm saying? And it's why are you looking for this? Because, and in this environment, you got a lot of people, they claim to be so righteous. They put on a good show of holiness and all this other stuff. However, when you look at what the word says and you look at what they're doing, you see something totally different. And people need to be made to understand that this is a huge red flag. And you should only give people a couple times to be up there and be misleading, be dishonest and all that, and catch them in some stuff, especially early on. Especially early in getting to know someone, you should only give them a couple times. And it's because if you're seeing this type of stuff early on, you might as well run for the hills on that one. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big one, is, and cultivating this level of discernment, seeing who's a brother and who's not, because everybody says, hey, what's going on? Hey, brother. Hey, this, that, and the other. Everybody saying, hey, sister. Hey, this, that, and the other. But you need to cultivate the discernment to be able to identify this. You need to know when you see certain behaviors from a person, you need to make a mental note on that. You know what I'm saying? And just keep it pushing. Or when you see it in yourself. If this is cutting. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big one. And, that's a foundation one in dwelling together in unity and learning to cultivate true brotherhood and learning to come together as a nation, or they might call it teamwork. Oh, here's another big one is the conflict resolution, and that's a process of dealing with disagreements, clashes, in a way that is fair and even more so that is constructive. Fair and constructive. And again, if you don't have patience, grit, and resilience, and you don't have that poise to take a pause to recognize, okay, let me throttle this thing back, you ain't gonna get it. It's gonna be messy. It's gonna be messy. Now let me see. I jotted something down here. So jumping around, a lot. Something I find when I start talking about being a nation. And this is when I'm talking to dysfunctional people who have a dysfunctional mindset. This is something I've discerned about them. They have no concept, like it doesn't register. They don't make the link, the connection of, the benefits, I guess you could say, of coming together as a nation, because they've never seen it. They've functioned in dysfunction for so long. That's all they know. They've never seen function. They don't understand why brotherhood's important, why there's such a big push when you read the word for us to gather ourselves together, and that we're in a state of a nation that's not desired. Like, to them, it's just kind of spiritual words you're saying, and they don't make the whole connection. So a good way to show that, and this is part of the why, this is one of the reasons, this ain't the whole reason, but this is one of the reasons why I have a desire to have brotherhood, and to uh to dwell together in unity. You know, I've function on high functioning teams, and it's like, man, the total burden on everybody is lightened. It's like you know what I'm saying? It's like effortless. Like you hear some of these basketball players, they talk about being in the zone when they locked in, and their whole body is all locked in on what they're doing, and how it's just effortless out there. And you're not, you know, I play basketball, not in any high level. But I have played with high level athletes. I've played basketball with high level athletes, people, NBA players, Division I college players and stuff. And I've played on teams with these types of players, and I'll make it even simpler. When we would go to the gym and play basketball, if I got on a team with and you know, you go to a gym, one gym long enough, you know how everybody plays. So if I was able to put together or get on a team where everybody had a teamwork mindset, where they were, like, the game would just be fun. We'd win a bunch of games. We'd stay on the court for a long time. But then sometimes I'd be on a team where I knew everybody on the team, no, even though they were skilled, their mindset was shoot first, pass third. Shoot first, shoot second, pass third. Like, that was their mindset. And I knew the game was just going to be trash, and we weren't going to be on the court that long because we're going to end up losing. You know? So, and that's one of the benefits to true brotherhood, where you can count on everybody, where everybody's going to fulfill their role. But if you come from dysfunction and that's all you know, it's literally like trying to teach a fish to ride a bike. Is it possible? With the Most High, all things are possible. I've seen people's eyes be open and they get it. But a lot of people, man, they don't. They just don't. It's just a very me-centered mentality. And they just don't get it. That not only do they not get the big picture, they don't even get the small picture. Even though you lay it out to them, because they don't have a spirit to get it. And it's like, this is right in everybody's face. People see the benefits of brotherhood all around them. And they acknowledge the power of being a nation, being united. They acknowledge it, but they're unaware that they acknowledge it and see it. And they think it's so far away from them. Like, it doesn't even pop into their mind. And I think that's what it is. I don't know why some people are just so self-centered on their emotions and what they're feeling, and they disregard the whole team and the whole nation. Okay? I don't know exactly why, but I'm pretty sure I know why. But like I said, people see it around them. And what do I mean people see it around them? Look at the faith that people have in law enforcement, in the police. Like, look at the respect people give the police. Okay? Look at the respect they give them. Because they see their unity. they see their uniformity. They see how they're all uh, in agreement on their law that they function under. You know? And then, like, I look at what I've seen in my journeys, in my experience being in the Hebrew Israelite movement, where we got a law we claim to follow till we get emotional. Then it's like, yeah, you know, whatever. Tear it up. Man, shoot, if I brought Koi up here, she could tell you our experience with all these different assemblies and stuff that we've been a part of and all that stuff like that. It's like, man, it was amazing. I'm telling you, because when we went up to the Great Awakening Hebrew Gathering, that was a conference years ago. That's where we met Straightway at. We met Pastor Dow there. Well, when we were going up to that, like me and Corey, we were like, you know what? I told Corey, I was like, hey, after this conference, we done with all this. We're going back to just having our Shabbats in our house, by ourselves, this peaceful Shabbats where we rest and study, watch Bible study videos and stuff, because we had got so frustrated with all the dysfunction. And then we came to Straightway. We saw Straightway. And where there is unity, there is brotherhood, there is a common unity, there is a bond going on. Are there bumps in it sometimes? Yeah, no place is perfect. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect. Nothing out here is perfect like that except Yah's word. But the key thing that sets Straightway apart from everything else out there is, if there is an issue and there is something that somebody wants to bring up, you can do it and it will get dealt with. But again, I'm gonna tell you why some people or why, you know, people might not think, oh, that's the case or whatever, is because, again, like what I said earlier, and let me pull that up where I was reading about it. Let me see if it's here. Is a lot of people don't have patience, grit, and resilience. And I'm going to tell you what's widespread with our people, Israel, because they're under the curses, is they have made a god of their feelings and emotions. They put too much emphasis on emotions and feelings. Way too much. Just an outrageous amount of emphasis on how they're feeling, and they give full vent to them in the moment. Whereas, look, I got feelings. Anything you see happen, I have feelings and emotions that come up. Same ones y'all have. I am almost 100% sure. And the reason why I'm almost 100% sure is because sometimes I hear people saying the exact same thing I'm feeling, but I just don't give in to it. I will wait, especially if it's something critical. I'll wait and wait and wait until the feeling and emotion is completely gone, and then begin to assess it and come out with what I'm going to say. And what's that? That comes from this. A bunch of great wisdom, being around, seeing, learning. And let me tell you, I ain't perfect. I ain't saying I'm perfect. I know people like, oh my gosh, I'm sure I got people watching like, man, Mike, I done seen you go nuclear. Yep. So I ain't saying I'm perfect. And I'm not saying I'm always calm and all that, because there is a time to turn up 100. There's a time for peace and a time for war. You know what I'm saying? So there is a time to turn up to 100. You know what I'm saying? But wisdom has to be applied. There has to be some type of filter to run that through, and that filter is the word. And as I move forward day in, day out and everything, I try to grow in that more and more. And I have been growing in that more and more, where certain things I just learned. You learn after getting all these damn gray hairs, you learn that, hey, that don't require me to pop off. That don't even require a response. You know what I'm saying? That there, I look at another situation. This situation here will work itself out. This one here don't even require a response. This one here, I need to check that aggressively. You know what I'm saying? And you see what I'm saying? You begin to move in that fashion, and operate on that level. Okay, so by maintaining composure, patience allows for sustained effort and focus. Okay? So patience fuels grit. Okay? So by maintaining composure, patience allows for sustained effort and focus. And then grit, overcoming challenges through perseverance, builds the capacity to bounce back. So grit strengthens resilience. And resilience, successfully navigating adversity, strengthens the belief in our abilities to endure and persist. So resilience reinforces patience and grit. And it's like a cycle. You know what I'm saying? A righteous cycle of emotions. You see what I'm saying? And all I'm doing is trying to break this stuff down to a granular level, because I'm telling you, a lot of people, they've never heard this ever in their whole life. Okay? So, yeah, they've never heard this. So, somebody says Straightway Ministries is Israel. Yeah, but the Israelites are the people, so-called African Americans in this country, and they're under the curses. And a lot of people come into real Israel, and they drag all them curses in there with them. So yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying there. Let's see. Okay, appreciate y'all. So they posted the scriptures for me, brother Bernard, brother Lat posted the scriptures for me in there. Appreciate y'all. Sirach chapter 6 verse 9, it says, and there is a friend who, being turned to enmity and strife, will discover thy reproach. Again, some friends is a companion at the table and will not continue in the day of thy affliction. Okay? So they are opportunistic friend. Okay? And that was, and y'all can read that, and there's more to that, I think. You can read, that's Sirach, the book of Sirach. It's in the Apocrypha, otherwise known as the book of Ecclesiasticus. And it's chapter 6, starting at verse 9. All right, appreciate you posting that in. Brother Bernard posted Sirach chapter 7, verse 18. It says, priests and the don't trade a friend for cash, or a genuine friend for the gold of Ophir. Okay? So that is Sirach chapter 7, verse 18. Okay? And it's telling you don't trade a good friend, for anything. Hang on to them. And then we kind of went through what it really means to be a good friend or a good brother to someone. You know what I'm saying? We kind of went through all that. So, yeah, there's something to really consider. I kind of hit on a whole bunch of stuff. Let me see if I have anything else here. Let me see if I got anything else. Okay. So one of the things I talked about, and I already hit on that with the police force. Like, people respect them. And I don't care whether you like the police or not. You respect them because they've earned a reputation for operating in true brotherhood, whatever you think it might be. Whether you think it's good or bad, they stick together. For the most part, you understand what I'm saying. I mean, you could get real nitty gritty with it, but you understand. Like, if they pick up the radio and say, hey, I need everybody out here to on a code, whatever, shots fired, officer down. They got some type of thing where if that call goes out, everybody comes. You know what I'm saying? And they speed there. Okay? And then with our people, shoot, it's hard to get them to do just to speak, or I've seen it being a head of assembly. I ask everybody just to do something simple, and you lucky to get anybody to do it. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. Parents. And lastly, come together as a nation, we got to really understand what that is. You're here, your role in a family, your role on a team, your role in a nation is to support the nation. But a lot of people come with a mindset, what can the nation do for me? Instead of what can I do for my nation? What can I do for my family? What can I do for my brotherhood? And again, this is an alien concept to a lot of people. What I wrote here, people want the benefits of brotherhood without putting in the work. Who is my brother? Like that Bible verse says, who is my brother? Who is my mother? Those who keep the commandments. And what did he say? Most important commandment is love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and soul. Love your brother as you love yourself. But if you don't love yourself, how are you going to love your brother? A lot of people don't even know who they are. They don't know what's operating in them. So how can they love themselves? How can they apply the word? Because Yah's laws, Yah's word are love. And if you don't know what's operating in you, how are you going to apply the word to yourself, to love yourself, and let alone love your brother? So this is why, again, going back to the building block of a nation, the building block of unity, a brother, a lot of people fancy themselves as brothers, but they're not. And I see it. It's obvious when you compare it to what the word says. Y'all put a 100 up in there if that makes sense. I appreciate all y'all tuning in. I'm Michael Israel. Watch the Spiritual Combat. Shalom, shalom.